Bears. The Bears.
New York! Used to be like, I left Friday morning with fucking LaCroix and a hangover. I went to your place. Showed up Friday night. We got in town Friday night. We had a couple beers at the Ruby Tuesdays across the street. Yeah, dude, I had nothing to eat that entire day. I would hit hard. I was surprised at how thank you. I was surprised at how drunk that one 25-ounce beer got me.
And the Bud Light. We were only there for like 40
Light.
minute and we drank.
We did hammer them down pretty fast. We drank 30 fucking.
I was super
34
full
ounces
just from beer, just sitting there eating, and those wings were tiny.
I had more food than you, but I also hadn't eaten.
Got a salad and then
I had a fucking monster salad. I filled that fucking plate up, and then that huge plate of pasta. Yeah. Shout out to Ruby Tuesdays.
I didn't know they were still open.
Me too. I didn't know Ruby Tuesdays still fucking existed.
I thought they were Hunzo.
Yeah, because why would you give a fuck about a Ruby Tuesdays?
Well, that one probably making killing because there's 9 hotels.
Yeah.
And you're literally walking distance.
It was literally
every
pulled
single
in.
One.
We pulled in trying to figure out where the fuck we were at, and I was just like, oh, I'm really hungry. And we drove past. I was like, we can go to that Ruby Tuesdays. It's literally a stone's throw away from where we're sleeping today. Live from New York, it is Saturday night. The Fetch and Shock podcast, a very special live episode. Well, not live to you, because you're not hearing this live, but live to me and Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We here.
This is the first time we've ever recorded in the same room with each other.
True. I don't like it so far.
I gotta fucking hate it. Yeah, so we're in a hotel room somewhere 10 minutes outside of the town of Syracuse.
Yeah, outside of downtown Syracuse.
During the college football game, which I'm assuming Clemson is fucking stomping Syracuse in it, and all the locals are bummed out.
They're just getting hammered.
Yeah, I mean, that'll happen. Watch, we'll end up getting done recording, we'll turn on the TV, and Syracuse is just like crushing them.
Upset of the century.
Yeah, upset of the fucking millennia.
90-0 or something crazy.
Yeah, highest scoring football game, also biggest upset in college football history. But yeah, we are in Syracuse, New York for the Star City Games New York Syracuse Open, and it is my favorite format, Legacy.
Me, on the other hand,
could give two fucks.
Yeah.
Well,
I had fun.
Correct me if I'm wrong. These are the games you played today and the games we played last night were the very first paper games of Legacy you ever played.
In a tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had lands built, which I played lands a couple times against you.
You and me played Turbo Depths that matchup, but I was playing Death and Taxes.
It wasn't Turbo Depths. It was actual lands, like red-green lands.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And I sold it because I thought that I would love that deck.
And then you ended up not liking it.
I just didn't like...
You also played it against like an awkward fucking matchup, too.
That's the point.
I think that might have had a little bit of a hand in it.
That's possible.
Yeah. But fucking, yeah, these were your first tournament games of Legacy.
Yeah.
Matt, what did you think of Legacy so far?
It's modern with a bigger card pool and better mana bases. That's it.
Which is kind of sick, though.
That is it.
It's also slower than Modern, correct?
Currently, yeah.
Yeah, it's slower than... It's a more fair version of Modern, but with better mana.
Well,
like, what's bad about that?
There's some more alternatively broken, ultimately more broken things.
Yeah, I would say that there are...
Like, you have Dark Depths, very clearly not okay, and...
Yeah, you can't have Dark Depths, and also, I mean, the rituals...
To be fair, you honestly could.
Right now?
Well, you could. You have ways to disrupt it. You have Path.
And there's also Wasteland. Not, like, crop rotation and shit in Modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I would like to see maybe a version of that happen.
Yeah, there are ways that you could do it that... I think the issue is you could kill someone.
A quote-unquote fixed Dark Depths.
Yeah, you could... Well, no.
Was that what the blue enchantment was from Modern Horizons?
That was shit.
Yeah,
I think that if Dark Depths, it breaks the turn 4 roll of Modern. Because you can legitimately kill them on turn 3 pretty consistently. Urborg, Vampire Hexmage, Dark Depths. And
done. See, you can't print exactly that because Hexmage doesn't exist in Modern, does it? Zendikar.
Yeah, it's for sure legal in it.
I just knew it was in like a Commander thing, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. That's where I saw its first reprint was Commander.
But yeah, I think that's the main reason.
Sure.
But that and like you have LED. Ironically, I played a fucking souped up Modern deck myself, and round 1, that's what I played. I played a souped up Modern deck. My first round was against Affinity.
So I think the format for this is going to be just me and Matt going through kind of our day and what we what we played against, and then after we're done talking about our matchups and stuff, we can talk about like our thoughts on the day, and just kind of a little wrap up of what we thought of SCG New York and maybe our plans for tomorrow because we still got Sunday.
Yeah, I'm for sure going back.
Oh, we're playing tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, but I probably won't be playing Legacy. I'll probably be playing slinging some modern spells.
Well, you can decide that as we're talking. So, yeah, let's talk about your round one, because your round one is probably like your most fascinating matchup of the
I was not expecting
deck.
Affinity of all things.
No, it's just
Honestly,
a straight up Affinity deck. When you told me about it, I was like, are you serious?
It was Affinity that was playing Thought Not Seers.
Oh, that's sweet. Just like Soul Lands.
Soul Lands, Affinity creatures. Like turn one, he went, I forget what land it was. I think it was a Wasteland turn one, and then played a Vault Skirt. I was like, what in the fuck is
Jesus
going on?
Christ. What is this, modern?
Yeah, and then he followed that up with Mox Opal, Soul Land, Thought Not Seer, and I was like, oh.
Oh, that's fair. Very Balanced Magic, the Gathering.
No, the first land, it wasn't a Wasteland, I lied. It was the Artifact land.
Darksteel Citadel?
Yeah.
Oh, so it was straight up a modern start.
Yeah.
Like,
And just happened to have...
modern legal land, pay 2 life, play modern legal creature.
Yeah, and then played an Ancient Tomb, Mox Opal, with Thought Not to follow turn two.
Yeah, so they played 5 cards by turn 2, and one of them was Legacy legal, and the rest were legal and modern. Well, I guess I just showed you the power of fucking Soul Lands.
Yeah, Soul
Like,
Lands.
that's what makes that boss dead.
Yeah.
It's the fact that there's a Soul Land. Everything else is legal and modern. It's not even really...
That's why...
It's not the top tier deck in modern either.
Yeah.
Well, at least the top tier artifact deck in modern.
That's why Eye of Ugin got banned in modern, because it was way more than just a Soul Land. You could...
I mean, it was effectively a Soul Land plus.
Yeah, way more plus, because you could dump 3-4 creatures out if you really wanted to, and then still follow up with a turn 2.
Yeah, fucking insane. Yeah, it's that... See, remember that conversation we had about synergy? That is some kind of synergy or something like that. God damn it. Well, my round one, I played against what should be the bread and butter matchup of Blue-Red Delver.
We should probably tell them what we played.
Oh, yeah, you played... Well, everybody knows what you played. I retweeted your thing.
Yeah, I tweeted the deck out.
Yeah, it was Birthing Pod-centered list.
Kiki Pod.
Yeah, but with Kiki Jiki. So if anybody played Modern circa 2015, you'll have an idea of what the list looked like. It played Kiki Jiki, Mirror Breaker, Restoration Angel, and that was a combo. It also played Deceiver Exarch
Felidar
combo.
Guardian. Those were the combo
pieces. And then around that shell, you were playing like Siege
creatures.
Rhino, Renegade Rallier,
Baleful Strix was a
Soul
big one.
Herder, Baleful Strix. Yeah,
Soul Herder got taken out every game. I didn't play any real grindy matchups where...
But if you would have keeping it in, you would have won at least one match, or won at least one round that you didn't.
No. I took out Felidar Guardian, not Soul Herder.
No, Soul Herder when you were playing the lands, or the Delver deck, Rug Delver. Because you went to pod away.
I went to get Felidar Guardian and I took it out. That's what I was...
Well, we'll get to that later. His fucking Matt's trials and tribulations throughout the day of his very first day of Legacy. Gotta love that. And I, to nobody's surprise, played Death and Taxes.
ENT.
Yes. And for any of the Death and Taxes aficionados out there, the exciting parts of the deck were I was playing, instead of Mother Ruins, I was playing Giver Ruins, because Ren and 6 is a card.
2 toughness big.
Yep. I was also playing 2 Tomic.
And Plague Engineer.
Plague Engineer really wrecks Death and Taxes. So does both of those cards are just absolute fucking houses against me. I played 2 Tomics in my some of my flex slots. I also played I played 1 Mirren Crusader, which I don't think I cast once on the entire day.
From your matchups, it doesn't look like it would have really...
It's surprisingly good in the Rug Delver matchup and in the 4-color Loam matchup. But besides that...
That and it can wield a sword like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it just depends on when they expel their removal. It can block a Tarmogoyf all fucking day. And if it doesn't hit a bolt or if I can put a sword on it, that thing just runaways with the game. It's really, really good in the 4-color Loam matchup because I don't think my opponent was playing 4...
None of their removal can touch it.
Except for Punishing Fire.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
But I don't think he was playing for Punishing Fire. I don't know why, but I don't think he was.
Yeah, that seems...
Yeah, that seems like an incorrect play. But I played Death and Taxes, and then I played 1 Mirren Crusader, and then because of the lovely people on Twitter, I played 1. They decided that I flip a coin on my other flex slot between a second Mirren Crusader and Athalia, Heretic Athar, and the coin flip won. I flipped, and I ended up playing Athalia, which she did come in handy for a couple different moments, and I'm glad that she was in my 75, which is something I did not expect. But yeah, let's...
Well, that makes creatures and non-basic lands come into play tapped,
yes,
which slows down
a lot of the matchups.
A lot of shit.
Yeah. So my first round matchup after Matt was playing Affinity, my round 1 matchup was Blue-Red Delver, which, like I said, should be the fucking bread and butter.
Yeah, cake. That's why Death and Taxes.
Yeah, it's because of fair matchups like that. But it was very early in the morning, and I was a little hungover because we got drunk at Ruby Tuesdays the night before because we're scum.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, and I won game 1, and I punted away game 2 because I forgot one single Aether Bow trigger. And I guess that is the moral of the story, is that Legacy is built upon small little decisions that mean a whole fucking lot. Like that, I can boil down my loss on that game 2 in round 1 to me missing that Aether Bow trigger. Because if I would have had it on 2, I would have been able to curve out Thalia into 3-mana Thalia and just have been off to the races.
Instead,
but because I missed that,
behind,
I was a turn behind, and I lost that game by probably a turn's worth of mana. So, I mean, yeah, I lost game 2, and then I lost game 3 to just the classic Delver having the 4
They delved you.
Yeah, the 4 counter spells with a turn 1 Delver. Like, regardless of how good the matchup is, Delver's going to be able to Delver on occasion, and they got me. So I lost round 1 against the bread and butter matchup. That was a fucking awful start to my day. Was not excited about that. But then onwards and upwards. So we started off the day, both of us, 0-1. Pretty good. What did you face round 2?
Round 2, I actually played against Rug Delver. Game 1, they Delvered me. I couldn't get on the board at all. Dazes and...
Prevented you from playing your game?
Yeah. And then a timely Wasteland to cut me off one source.
Your deck seemed like particularly susceptible to Wasteland if you didn't have an abundance of lands.
But that was the only time that I got mana fucked.
Punished by Wasteland, yeah.
Every other time it's like, okay, cool, Wasteland. Mm-hmm. Fine.
Unless they have, like, Rug Delver, if they assembled, like, Ren and 6 and Wasteland against you, oh boy, you were in for a beating. But that never happened to you, which is nice.
I have a bunch of creatures, so Renans attack it and kill it.
Yeah, because your creatures are bigger than their creatures.
Yeah.
Presumably at that point.
And there's not that many hit by Renin 6. And if they waste their turn killing my Belful Strix...
Ren and 6, in that Delver deck too, it has become abundantly... I mean, I knew this before, but today...
Them hitting their land drops...
Oh, no, I knew that. Ren and 6 dying and fueling Tarmogoyfs is so relevant.
A 4-5 into 6.
That is just like, that pushes Tarmogoyf over the edge in that deck. And normally, like online, I have faced that before, and I get it. But today I had some awkward scenarios. I think it's because I also drew poorly in a couple of my games today, and that was how I lost the one Rug Delver matchup. Ren and 6 dying and making that Tarmogoyf a 5-6 is big game for the Rug Delver player.
I actually came across a couple Renin in various different decks. It wasn't just in Rug Delver. Lands plays it.
Any deck that can play red and green and have that mana on a regular basis, 1,000% will play that card.
Yeah, I punted my round 2, because round 1 he Delvered me, game 1 he Delvered me out. Cool, makes sense.
Yeah.
Game 2 I was mopping the floor with him, and then I sideboarded. I took out Felidar Guardian.
I was there for that.
Yeah, and I was searching for it, and I was like, fuck.
No, you did. That was game 3, because I came over, because my one was done pretty early.
Yes.
And I watched the end of
3.
your game 1, or your game 2.
Yeah.
Because you comboed him out.
Yes.
Yeah, you actually, you achieved the Kiki-Jiki Felidar Guardian. No, it was a Kiki-Jiki Deceiver Exarch.
Whatever, it doesn't
matter. It was
matter.
Deceiver Exarch in that game, specifically.
And then I had Felidar Guardian out for some reason, which I have it in there for 2 4-drops to
pot into
to go up the chain. Yeah. And for some stupid reason, I took it out.
Shot it out.
So that was a punt because Siege Rhino.
Oh man,
dealt him 17 damage because I attacked with it.
Yeah, and then it probably 15 because he fetched a couple times.
Yeah.
Well, he assembled Ren and 6, but
he was down to 1, and if I would have had the Felidar Guardian, I went through the chain. I chained a Scavenging Ooze into a Deceiver Exarch, untapped the pod, potted the Deceiver Exarch to go get the Felidar Guardian, but I took the Felidar Guardian out, and the resto was in my graveyard.
Yeah, and I watched you do that, and I watched you look through, and then you put down your deck, and you went to your sideboard and looked at it, you're like, fuck.
Because that was my...
That would have been GG right there. Your opponent was at...
he was at 1.
He was at 1 at that point.
And if I would have blinked Siege Rhino, game over.
Yeah, -2. Yeah, and that was something I was really impressed with your deck, too. The power of Siege Rhino.
Yeah, 4/5.
Standard All-Star, at one point in time, Modern All-Star. Yeah, Siege Rhino's a fucking
4/5
guy, man.
trample, 6 life total swing. Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Yeah, shout out to Ristic Study. He has a video that like really fucking hits home the power of Siege Rhino. I love it. Siege Rhino was initially supposed to be a 3-mana 4/4 that entered the battlefild, drain and gained 2, and then if an ability made you discard Siege Rhino, or an opponent's ability made you discard Siege Rhino, put it into play. How fucked up would that have been?
That would have been crazy.
It was Abzan colors, 4/4, those abilities. Man, that would have been a mistake, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, that card would have been nuts. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, that would have been scary.
So, you lost round 2.
Yes, which I should have won, and it's entirely my fault. I don't really give a shit.
That's magic.
Yeah, it's literally the 6th game, not even match of
Magic. Because the first really ones that you played with the deck were the night before after we had been drinking heavily.
Yes.
Classic Magic the Gathering. Classic Petro Chuck podcast. Yeah. Just alcoholic trying to fucking fumble through a child's card game.
Yep.
Well, my round 2, I played against 4-color Loam, which, in my experience with it, has been a very swingy matchup. Either it's really, really favored for me in some games, and then it's really not favored for me in some games. And it just turns out that a particular day, it was not favored for me. Because my opponent was playing main board, what the fuck is the guy? The black guy.
Engineer Plague.
Plague Engineer.
Plague Engineer.
Yeah, he was playing main board Plague Engineer, and he had Ren and 6 on the board and was just going to town, doing his thing, getting all of his lands back, and then I finally stabilized and he Plague Engineered away like all of my things. And I specifically built my deck not to lose to Ren and 6 and Plague Engineer, but when your opponent has both of them, that really fucking makes it hard not to absolutely lose to that combination of cards. So he just whittled me away with stuff like that, and I could not do anything about it. I also mulliganed pretty poorly in that game. And then game 2, I kept a hand of mono 1-drops, basically, and 1 land. And if I had my turn 1 Aether Bile stick around for any amount of time, I was in pretty good shape. So I went Plains, Aether Bile, go. He went... Forest, Mox Diamond, pitch a land, Abrupt Decay your Aether Bile. I was like, oh, that's how it's great. So he pretty much took me, and it took me 4 turns to draw land, but that game ended up going like 15 turns.
Somehow, yeah.
I mean, Death and Taxes has the ability to come back from stuff like that, but against a deck that just accruals so much value like lands,
it's hard to do.
Like a 4-color Loam, it's just really, really fucking difficult. So yeah, I took the L on that one. So we both started out a very strong 0-2.
I went to 3 games every one of my rounds except the very last one.
Was the 4-color Loam was the only one that I did not go to 3 games with. That I lost, at least.
And my round 2 was probably my only technically good matchup.
Yeah, I would say you're like the creature-based matchup for you that isn't super, super quick is hopefully slanted towards you. And you only had, one of those. Yeah.
So round 3, I played against good old red-green lands.
Yep. The just traditional lands deck with the Dark Depths combo and all the other shenanigans.
Real quick, round 2, I got deck checked. And
this is a good story.
He's like, all right, we're going to do a deck check. I was like, all right, I'm coming over. And as he was walking away, he didn't hear me, obviously. I was over there standing. And the judge is like, yeah, you can't be over here. I was like, well, you just took... I'm not leaving my super expensive cards, like, out of my sight. I was like, I don't think you're going to do anything, but I would rather know what's going on rather than just leaving it. And at first, he was super weird about it. He's like, well, you can't look at your opponent's deck. And I was like, well, I'm not trying to look at his deck. And I kind of walked just around in front of the table to, like, so I wasn't looking at my opponent's deck.
Yeah, you weren't looking at what they were looking at, yeah.
Another judge came over and she was like, are you just trying like to watch us do your deck. And I was like, yeah, that's all. I just want to sit here and just make sure. Because I have a lot of dual lands in there, and they're not cheap.
No,
it's not. Fucking money. And they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then the guy who had my opponent's deck walked to another table across the way where I couldn't see. Yeah. And once he was done, I was like, yeah, I wasn't being like an asshole. I was just...
Yeah, you're just trying
He's
to...
like, no, I totally get it. And the lady, she was like, yeah, we run into this a lot when we do vintage stuff.
Yeah, like Eternal Weekend.
Yeah. So, and I apologized to the guy who actually did mine. I was like...
Listen, bud, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
No, not that. I apologized to him before.
Oh.
Or after the fact. When the guy doing my deck was doing, I was like, listen, there's a lot of one-ofs. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, because your deck is infinitely one-ofs, yeah.
I actually helped him do it. He was like looking. I was like, okay, these are the things that I sideboarded in. This is what I took out. Because the game one went quick because he just fucking delvered me.
Yeah, because they typically deck check you, like, they try to do it at the beginning of the round, but because your fucking game one was so quick, they deck checked you in sideboarding.
Yeah. So that took 10 minutes or so for him to go through my deck, and I had to help him go through it and say...
Yeah, because you're a garbage person.
And I already knew, like, I know what's in a Rug Delver deck. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Unless there's some super secret tech that no one knew about yet.
I don't think that that's the case in Rug Delver.
Yeah, but that was...
No bad cards Rug Delver is what people are playing now.
But round 3, I played against lands.
Yeah, and that went.
He killed me turn 3.
With the Dark Text combo.
With
making a 2020.
A nice little Merit Lage token that smacked me in the face for 20.
Yeah, 2020 flying indestructible. Turns out, not bad. And on turn 3, even better.
Yeah. Game 2, I surgicaled his Dark Depths and just went through everything and was just smacking him around with 3/2s and keeping him off actually doing anything. Leovold's really fucking good in that matchup.
Yeah, insane in that matchup.
He read it, and he's like, okay, and then he went to Rishid Import me. I was like, okay, I'm going to draw
a card.
He's like, what do you mean? I was like, you're targeting
my permanent
stuff,
yeah.
so I'm going to draw.
It's me or my permanent.
Like, oh, okay. He did it again next time to try to cut me out mana. I was like, you're just drawing me cards. And then he tried to wasteland me when I had like 6 lands out.
Yeah, what are you doing,
And I was like, okay. But that one was pretty quick. And then the third one, a combination of Rishid Imports, Wastelands, and Tabernacle.
Yeah.
Kind of kept me off stuff.
Yep, that did the thing. I watched the end of that game and I was like, oh boy. Like, I came over and it was already...
Yeah.
The nail was in the coffin just about.
Yeah. Dude was really cool. I did kill him with the Kiki Jiki combo. And he was like, oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's the best part when somebody is just like stoked on what you're doing.
Yeah, but he was really cool. He ended up obviously winning with Dark Depths combo game 3.
That's the easiest way for that deck to win.
It's the fastest too.
Yeah.
He could grind it out because game 2 was pretty grindy for the most part.
Yeah, he could like punishing fire you to death.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to, but he doesn't have to because he can just attack you with a 20.
They did start playing that new land that when it comes into play, or another land, if you have 7 different lands,
makes a zombie. Yeah, I think that's sweet.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought that was...
Something from standard scape shift.
Yeah. It's just another way that's a land to fucking win.
It's just something that the lands can do to try to diversify its threats. Which you can't be mad about that.
Naturally, lands is quite a bad matchup because I can't... there's only 3 ways in my 75 to get rid of a dark or a Merit Lage.
Yeah, and it's all just not good.
2 ways, I lied.
What are they?
Palace Jailer and Banisher.
Yeah, Banisher Breach. Yes. Those
are the only 2 ways to get those.
Yeah. So if you don't have like an active pod during those times with a creature that you can go into that, like a 2-mana or 3-mana creature to get one of those things.
Turns out, an active Birthing Pod.
You're boned.
Fucking good.
Still good regardless of the format
you're in. Yeah.
Well, mine round 3, I finally got my first fucking W of the weekend. I played against Reanimator. And I'm going to go so far as to say that all of my opponents this weekend have been great, except for this Reanimator guy. Like, when I saw you after this game, or after this match, we walked outside, and I looked at you, I was like, man, I could really use a glass of water after that. And you're like, why? I'm like, my mouth is pretty dry. And you're like, okay. I'm like, yeah, it's from all the salt that my opponent fucking gave me last round. And you're like, god damn it. Yeah, so I played Reanimator round 3, and my deck is particularly well suited to beat Reanimator if Reanimator doesn't have just the nut draw.
Mine's actually really good at beating Reanimator.
Yeah, it is.
I got a lot of ways to deal with that because I thought I was going to see a lot of that.
Yeah, so I played against Reanimator, and I had... If he doesn't have a way to interact with my hand, like if he doesn't have like Unmask or anything like that, and I have what I need in my hand, he's fucked. Or if I have Caracas, he's fucked. And
turns out Caracas is pretty good against
Yeah, it turns out he... game 1, he turn one a Grave Titan.
Oh.
Yeah, game 1, he turned one a Grave Titan.
Seems okay.
But I luckily kept a hand with Plains swords. So immediately Plains swords that. He's back to 20. He has two zombies. The next turn I played Tomic into his 2 zombies and then blocked. And then the game kind of continued with him just kind of trying to set up his draws. And then but me like deploying Athalia.
That deck seems difficult to kind of go off more than...
Yep. And that's kind of the thing. You have to like really... You can go off once really easily.
Yeah.
Going off twice, you have to have some setup for it. Because it's like an all-in combo deck.
Did he entomb? Or how did he get the...
Reanimate.
No. How to get it in his yard?
Oh, he... Faithless Looting.
Okay.
Faithless Looting and then Petal Entomb. Or Petal Reanimate was the turn 1.
Because that seems like a very strange thing to just go turn 1, you would want something like the dude who everyone discards their hand every turn.
Siren Insanity.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. No, he went Badlands, Faithless Looting, and I was like, oh god. And he was on the play, obviously. And yeah, he discarded Titan, Grave Titan, and just some other random card, doesn't actually matter. And then he went Reanimate on that guy, get his zombies, and I went Plains,
first turn
sword
play.
it. I mean,
just wouldn't be
9 times out of 10. That's probably going to beat me.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the swords, I was dead on the spot pretty much. But I had the swords, so got him. And then had Tomic. Tomic is fine in the matchup. He's a good body. Blocks the zombies, turns out.
Yeah.
Blocked the zombies, and like after that, he has to just try to set up. And like after Tomic, I got to wasteland him off his only red source, so he couldn't do the Faithless Looting thing anymore. Because he already had one in his graveyard, and he ended up having another one in his hand because he used a Petal to use it. And I just developed my board, and he got to the point where he cast a Gristlebrand when he was at... No, he was at 15 life. And he did it, and then double activated Gristlebrand, putting him down to 1. And then I went untapped, because I was storing a Caracas in my hand the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to play that out, because I want him to play something into it. And I just went, okay, untap, Caracas, bounce your guy, kill you.
Yeah.
And that feels really good.
Yeah, that seems like a decent match.
That was when the salt train fucking started rolling in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then game 2, I think he mulliganed once, so he mulliganed to 6. And I kept maybe the most perfect hand against Reanimator I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it was just straight up perfect of Caracas, Basic Plains, Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Surgical Extraction, and I think a Wasteland was my 7. I was like, there's no way I'm pushing this back. Because he just can't beat me at this point.
Yeah.
He'd have to have multiple ways of interacting. And he went some manner of cards. Oh, it was Land, Dark Ritual, Entomb, put Iona in the yard, Animate Dead on Iona.
Yeah.
And he was like, Iona naming white. I'm like, okay. Untap. Caracas bounce it back.
Yeah, expected a scoop.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, of course you have the Caracas. Like, right when I play it, I'm like,
Play 3 of them.
Well, so. I was just like, I play 3 of them, bud. Like, I put 3 in the deck because of things like you and the Merit Lage.
Yeah.
Like, I really put it in for Merit Lage. I don't care about Reanimator because I didn't expect to see it really that much. But splash damage is a real thing, especially in Legacy.
Yeah.
When there's
powerful cards,
there's only so many fucking zones.
Yeah.
And there's only so many creature types. And there just happens to be a large card pool in Legacy.
Yeah.
So I play the cards that answer the things that I have to worry about.
So my round 4, I played Infect. Horrible fucking matchup.
I think bad matchup for you more so than almost anything else you played this weekend.
Yeah, probably the worst one. No, this was the worst one, but
we'll get to that. Yeah.
So game 1, he turn 1 plays Glisten Ralph. I was like, okay, shit. I had...
That's not great.
I did have a Baleful Strix with the mana to cast it, so played my land, pass. He goes turn 2 Hierarch, I say, okay, swings in, chips in for 1. I say, okay, no responses, take 1 infect. Or take 2 infect, sorry.
2 infect, yep.
And then I go, okay, I'm playing my Baleful Strix, Daze. Follows up with move to attack step, invigorate. I said, yep,
The
good
classic
games.
double invigorate.
Yep, so...
Well, at least you gained you gained 8 life.
Yeah.
That helped.
That's the part that matters.
Yeah, you were so dead.
Yeah, so that was a quick loss.
Yeah.
Game 2, I brought in not a whole lot. I brought in Sanctum Prelate, and I'll get on to the other parts for my next round. But I brought in Sanctum Prelate, and for some stupid reason, I brought in what's it called, the Selfless Spirit, thinking that I could block.
You'd be able to do something.
Yeah, but the -1/-1 counters. Forgot about that part. So
yep.
Game 2, I actually won. I was on the play. I got to play some creatures and blockers. Plague Engineer does some real fucking work.
Yeah, some gross shit.
Abrupt Decay is really good, and Assassin's Trophy to hit the manland, the Infect, Inkmoth Neck. Mm-hmm. So I basically just whittled him out of Infect creatures, and he did end up having 2 Infect creatures at the end of the game, but I kikied it.
The classic Kiki combo.
So I had so much life, so I was able, 2 creatures, I just got there and kikied him out. He was like, oh shit, wasn't expecting that. He thought I was playing just some 4-color good stuff creatures. Game 3, Infect just smacked me around. I did have a prelate out, which I named 1, not thinking Invigorate, because he got me after that.
Yeah, you almost always name like 3 with that.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
That's fair.
He had the unblockable dude, the bladed agent.
Yes.
So he got me there. I'm going to do my 5th round too, because it kind of pertains.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
So my 5th round, played fucking Infect again. Game 1, I took him to school. He never had an Infect creature. He played Noble Hierarch, and then Infect creature, the Glistener Elf, and then...
Tapping.
Oh. He played Glistener Elf, and then the following turn he played 2 more Glistener Elves, which I followed up with a Plague Engineer, which wrapped that game.
Yeah, that'll do it just about.
And then the 3rd game, I just valued him out with Baleful Strixes and Renegade Ralliers.
Yeah, that's...
I was just trading, drawing cards.
Tried and true. Drawing cards is still good in Magic.
Yeah, and then I did prelate him on game 3, which I don't think it would have mattered, but he did have an Invigorate in hand. I was just above and beyond. So I won that match somehow, which is probably one of my top 3 worst matchups.
Yeah, that's probably not great.
They're just super quick, and they have dazes.
Quicker way with you, and yeah, they're quicker, and they're not a combo. They're a combo deck that can actually interact with the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
That makes it awkward. Like, Elves is quick, too, but it's not like Elves is, you have to play around Force of Will. It's not like you have to play around Days or anything like that. But you do when you're playing Infect.
Yes.
So that makes it awkward.
So go ahead and do your 4th and 5th round. I just wanted to, since I was kind of on the Infect train, I wanted to go through that.
I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense. So my round was 4.
Yeah.
I played Rug Delver, which is a matchup that I was particularly prepared for. I played against it a bunch online, and I know the ins and outs of that. Like, I didn't have to think about sideboarding because I knew exactly what was coming out, what exactly was coming in. And yeah, games 1 and games 2 went relatively quickly with me taxing and him deathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, I don't think anything particularly interesting in those games that happened. Oh, that's not true. I got a game 1.
Oh, is this where you...
I got a Batterskull with a Sword of Fire and Ice attached to it, and got in.
Against a
It was
Red.
so nasty. Yeah, I beat a Red and 6 emblem, because that exists.
Yeah, gaining 6 life.
Yeah, gaining 6 life and just pinging something and drawing a card is fine.
Turns out that it's pretty good.
Yeah, because I get to literally eat
Whatever
any Tarmogoyf that they play, and anything else they can't block. Yeah, so I was fine with that. I would have loved to see that matchup more. And then round 5, I played against, I guess it was a Jeskai Mentor deck.
Not like a Miracles list, just...
No, it seemed like a brew, or just something at least that I haven't seen online. But he was playing Game 1, it seemed like it was going to be like Jeskai, Stoneblade, Delver kind of thing going on.
Delver Blade.
Yeah, but in the Jeskai colors, which I thought was a little bit interesting.
What were the red thing?
He had Dreadhorde Arcanist. That's what made me think it was a Delver deck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I saw Dreadhorde Arcanist and a bunch of spells, and at the very end of that game, he played a Monastery Mentor. And I was like, oh, maybe he just has a Monastery Mentor to go just a little bit over top and grind.
Restricted in Legacy.
No, not restricted in Legacy, turns out. And I learned that hard and fast in fucking game 2. Because game 1 I won, he cast a Mentor, and I Palace Jailered it away and then just got in for lethal because he thought I was going to have blockers set up, and he didn't. Game 2, I sideboarded it in such a way that it would have been very, very powerful against like a blue, red, white, like blue, red with a light white splash Delver deck, which is kind of what I thought because that's what I saw initially. And then he cast an entire 4 copies of Monastery Mentor that game.
I did not know that. That's funny.
Yep. He cast 4 copies of Monastery Mentor, and every single one of them, but the last one got Swords to Plowshare and Path to Exiled.
I'm just used to Vintage where you
don't get that.
You have to deal with the one.
You just got to deal with the one, and then everything else is good after that. Yeah, I used one of my Council's Judgments, one of my Path to Exiles, and all 4 of my Swords to Plowshares in that game, and still lost. Because turns out Jace the Mind Sculptor is an incredible card.
So Mentor is super powerful. I think that it doesn't see as much play just because it's 3 mana.
And that's why, because there's not an abundance of free spell.
Yeah, it's all...
At least it fit into that.
Yeah.
Bomberman has been playing Monastery Mentor.
That makes sense, because you're
playing 0 mana artifacts.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yep.
Which is where it shines. Because
exactly. Because you churn out
the Vintage version
guys.
is Mentor, Moxes, and Paradoxical Outcome.
Yep. Uh-huh.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, but then game 3, I sideboarded correctly. I brought like Cataclysms and stuff in, and sided out some of the stuff that was a little bit more awkward, just to get prepared to play the long game, and then did the deathing and the taxing. That would have been bad.
That would have been real.
Matt almost tried to drink his spitter.
I went to grab my beer, but almost grabbed the spitter, and the look on my face was,
oh, jeez, yeah, that was fucking priceless.
Close call.
Real good. But yeah, Sanctum Prelate was the all-star in that game. I baited out a...
That's the...
Sanctum Prelate is the Chalice of the Void creature,
okay.
yeah, except for they can't cast it.
Yeah.
And me and my opponent had a lengthy discussion on how bullshit Sanctum Prelate is. And he used the exact term, that card is such bullshit. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah, the can't cast is
brutal.
Well, if they would have...
Especially with Mentor in your deck.
Yeah, they actually have... Wizards has said if like templating was the same it is now, that's the same way Chalice
would have been, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been... You can cast it, and it just gets countered.
Because the Chalice check thing is kind of cummy.
Yeah. Well, it's
part of the game.
Your triggers,
it's part of the game. But the Chalice check thing is kind of cummy. But Sanctum Prelate fixes that.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. I mean, I also play Chalice, so I do have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But, just baiting out some things from my opponent and putting myself in a place where I knew that my Sanctum Prelate was going to resolve and name one.
Yeah.
So he got, like, a Swords to Plowshares out of the way early. And he also got a Lightning Bolt out of the way early. And I didn't expect him to have more than that the way that he was playing. Because he seemed kind of choosy on the second removal spell that he used. He did not seem fucking very... he was not very reluctant to kill the very first thing that I played. But the second thing, he was just like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, you don't have anything after that. And if I name it on one, he can't cantrip into something. He can't really do anything. And my mana denial strategy was good.
In Legacy, good. I noticed.
Yeah, you got to be able to read.
Brainstorms, you got Ponders.
Yep. Especially playing a deck that doesn't play those cards.
Yeah.
You have to be able to read your opponent playing those cards.
Yeah.
Very, very efficiently. And that's why I love Death and Taxes, because the more you play the deck, the better you are at playing the deck.
Decks in general.
Yeah, it's the learning curve on Death and Taxes is so fucking high. So if you have reps with a deck,
like
it's
you
worth
said,
playing.
It's one of those decks where it matters what you fucking do turn one. If you fuck up turn one, your turn 7.
Yeah, I missed
you
one
might lose
single trigger
because of that.
Yeah, I missed one single trigger on turn 2 or on turn 3, and that lost me the game on turn 7.
Yeah,
and that's live by the sword, die by the sword, I guess. Yeah, but mana denial strategy plus Sanctum Prelate on one just made sure that my opponent literally did nothing that game. So Yeah, I was, at that point, 3-2? I went loss, and then run, win.
Yeah.
Against Reanimator, Rug, and Jeskai. And then we went to round 6. What'd you play round 6? Because this is your,
This is literal.
I think maybe
worst.
Stone worst matchup.
Yeah, probably. So the guy was playing Red Prison, which plays 4 Blood Moon, 4 Magus of the Moon.
Yeah.
And game 1 on the fucking play.
And you're a 4-color creature deck.
Yes.
With 4 basic lands total in your deck.
Yes.
So,
one of each, minus the mountain.
Yes.
So game 1, he goes mountain, lotus petal. That's a lie. I'm a fucking liar. So that's a lot. That was game 2.
You're trash.
So game 1, he goes mountain, pass. Or no, ancient tomb, thorn of amethyst.
Okay.
I say, okay, I'm probably
Thorn's interesting.
Yeah, I'm either playing Eldrazi or probably Eldrazi. Because
Yeah,
I didn't think the Red Prison deck played
like a
that.
colorless Eldrazi. Because I don't think
Yeah.
the Red Prison deck, at least in the list that I've seen in the past.
I think the list he was playing kind of warrants it. I don't think he was playing Karn.
Ah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So he did that, and I said, okay, played my land, pass a turn, which was an Underground Sea. Turn 2, he goes Mountain, Magus of the Moon.
You're dead.
Fuck.
You're dead on board with that.
And I had a fetch in my hand, but I wasn't expecting
You didn't expect to fucking get Blood Moon turn 2.
Blood Moon, yeah. So that game ended very quickly at the hands of Goblin. I forget what it is.
One of the 3-mana ones.
Yeah, where it attacks and makes another Goblin.
Goblin Pile Driver.
No.
Or not Pile Driver. Goblin fucking... God damn it. We suck.
It's not the Ringleader. It's a 3-mana. Whenever it attacks, you make a Goblin that comes into play attacking.
Yes. Tapped and attacking. And then when it attacks, it gets a +1/+1 for each attacking Goblin.
+1/+0 for each.
Yeah, for each attacking Goblin
Yeah.
you control.
And they have haste, so...
Yes. The Goblins that enter the battlefield, they have to attack each turn and they have haste.
That ended very quickly. I just scooped because I didn't want him to know what I was playing.
Yep. I mean, that's a fair strategy, too.
Game 2, I had 2 basic lands. I was able to cast my turn 1 basic island. He goes turn 1 fucking Magus. He goes mountain, Spirit Guide, Magus of the Moon. I was like,
Dude, come on.
I was like, oh, that seems okay. He looked at me like he was a older guy. He was nice. We talked about vintage after, but he was a little strict.
He could have at least bought you dinner, though.
Yeah, he didn't know that I was joking. Yeah, he fucked me without buying me dinner.
Yeah, what an asshole.
So I did play that, Belful Strix, because I had the Island Swamp. So I played a Belful Strix. He follows that up with some newer creature that it's a 2-drop, 2/2. You can pay a colorless, sack it, deal 2 damage to something, or destroy target colorless permanent.
Oh, yeah, the new Goblin from 2020.
Yeah, whatever that thing is.
Yes, he's really good.
So that got me. He killed my Belful Strix, smack for 2. And it kind of went on where he was just chipping in for 2, and I played another Belful Strix, just drawing into more lands.
Yep.
I ended up hard casting
Kiki Jiki, baby.
The first and probably last time that I will ever cast that.
I got a question for you.
I had 4 turns. I had Kiki Jiki. After I played Kiki Jiki, I drew, what's it called? The Shalai, Voice of Plenty, where he can't target my things.
Yep.
So I go to play Shalai. In response, he kills my Kiki Jiki. Next turn, I draw the basic island, and I had Deceiver Exarch in my
your hand. So if it would have been like
one more turn,
a little bit different,
I would have been able to combo. But that's how it goes.
I got a question for you, though. How many red producing lands do you have in your deck?
That is a hard 0.
So how many times did you expect to cast Kiki Jiki
0
this weekend? Hard casting.
I expected to either discard it from hand size or brainstorm it back in and pot it out. Or if it was in my graveyard, I had a couple I had Revelark to evoke and bring it back.
Sure.
Or plug this shit on me. It's
you're talking about Karmic Guide.
Karmic Guide, yep.
Yep, Karmic Guide.
To bring it back into
Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's like probably one of your Stone worst matchups.
It probably is my actual worst matchup.
Yeah.
Because I'm only playing 4 basics.
Yeah, especially when he turn 1s you like that too.
Turn 1 and then turn 2 and then turn 1.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. That's rough, man. So you finished the day, what, 1-5? 1-5? I mean, not bad for your first day. Like I say, you won a game.
I honestly
And you
didn't-
only got swept one round.
Which was the last one, yeah. I went 3 games, and all my games were close.
Very close.
The
Because I watched most of your game 3s because I was done before then.
There was only one time where I could have won if I didn't draw a key.
I was there for that too, because you drew it off the top, and it took everything in me not to audibly groan when you drew.
Well, I
when you drew
literally
it.
went, and like,
And you held
showed
it
it
up
to you.
and showed it to me. And I stood there, and I didn't want to make it very obvious, but I wanted just to go, "Oh, motherfucker! God damn it!" Because you would have won like on the spot.
yeah, because I had Birthing Pod, and I have to draw before I can activate Birthing Pod.
You had a Birthing Pod, enough mana to cast a 2-drop, and a SCGNY in play.
Yeah.
So you could have literally potted away the 2-drop that you cast.
That was the game that
Go get Deceiver Exarch.
he went to the Rug Delver matchup.
Yeah,
where
and he was
went.
tapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could have literally cast your 2-drop, activated Birthing Pod, went and got Deceiver Exarch. Untapped your Birthing Pod, potted away your Siege Rhino, got Kiki Jiki, won the game on the spot with your opponent completely tapped out. And at that point, I had been watching the match, and I saw your opponent's hand. They were tapped out, did not have a Force of Will.
I actually
the only
played it
thing,
around days, too, just in case.
Yeah, you would have been definitely been able to... You had like 6 lands at that point.
Yeah.
But he, the only card that could interact with that in that particular moment, besides Force of Will and Daze, he didn't have any mana open. He had a Pyroblast in his hand. I mean, it could have destroyed your Saber X.
Yeah, but that's why
He was tapped out.
Yeah.
So, like, even with, like, the hand that he had, the only way he could have interacted with your combo was that, and he didn't have that ability to do that.
That's the nice thing about playing 2 4-drop things that blink, because
You get to play around that.
I could have potted the 4-drop away to go get Felidar Guardian to either blink pod or Resto to re-blink that and untap it or whatever.
There's a couple different ways to do it.
Yeah, that's why...
That's why you play so many redundant
Yeah.
combo pieces.
Yeah, and I didn't play more than one of them, which the one thing that I think that I was missing, as I was going, I made notes of stuff that I would take out and put in. I would want, I think, at least 1 persist creature, maybe 2.
Just have the redundant pod trigger.
I would want, I think, a Kitchen Finks, because it's just value town. You sack the Finks to the pod, go get a 4-drop, blink it, and you're net a card and 4 life.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and
So that 4 life could have been relevant in a handful of your matchups that I saw the end of.
I am glad that I took out Phantasmal Image last night, because I'm only playing 4 1-drop creatures.
And that was during our testing, we figured out that was just not... I mean, the testing, quote-unquote testing, we played like 4 games. 4 games drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did make some notes. I would play it again. It was a fun deck. And
I think it could be better if it is tuned properly to both the meta and just in general.
yeah. Well, I only played 1 game that was actually that I made it for, which was like the Delver matchup.
Yeah.
Because I usually shit on Delver.
Uh-huh.
The only time I don't shit on Delver is when they just do the Delver.
Get you. Yeah.
Where they do what they're
They
supposed to
do
do.
the thing that they're supposed to do,
Yeah.
yep.
Other than that, it actually, like I said, I didn't get swept except the last one, which Blood Moon turn 1, 2, and 1.
Yeah, what the fuck are you going to do about that,
I
man?
can't do anything about that. I didn't play any other Delver decks. I was kind of bummed about that. Or like Maverick or anything. Or Death and Tax. I have a pretty decent
D&T matchup.
Death and Tax matchup, yeah.
Well, speaking of D&T and Death and Delver, I was playing D&T and my last round opponent was playing Delver.
Yeah.
Talk about them transitions, baby! Even after fucking an entire day of Magic, I still got it. I still fucking got it. Yeah,
Get the fuck out of my matchup.
my round 6, I played against Rug Delver, which I played in round 4 and beat handedly, and I was very comfortable with the matchup. But unfortunately, this time it did not swing in my favor. Game 1, he did the typical Delver thing, like playing Tarmogoyfs and stuff. And usually that's not easy to beat. But Thalia Heretic Athar shined in that matchup.
It's a good card.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted it in the deck, is because for that matchup, it makes my opponent play so awkward because they have 0 basic lands.
Yeah.
Actual 0.
It reminds me of like a Time Walk effect. Because they play a creature. Okay, you can't block with that creature.
You can't.
Can't attack.
No.
Your lands come into play tapped.
And that's what came in crucial.
Yes, they get to draw and play other spells, but you're a creature deck at heart and a mana denial deck. So when their lands are coming into play tapped, mana denial, ta-da, did it. And then your creatures can still chip in there.
Yep. And Thalia with a Flicker Wisp, too. Especially an Aether Vial in Flicker Wisp. I got to blink out their...
and then
when they got to attack,
tapped.
they came back in tapped.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got to... So they... that was one of the things that happened in Game 1. They set up attacks to try to make it profitable. I did my blocks, and they had a Tarmogoyf. And they tried to fire off a removal spell during the blocks to kill one of my creatures. And I didn't care about the creature that they targeted dying, but I did care about the Tarmogoyf killing the other creature.
Yeah.
So I activate Aether Vial, Flicker Wisp out their Tarmogoyf. Both my creatures, or that one creature lives that I cared about. The other creature did not. Didn't give a shit. The Tarmogoyf comes back in at their end step, can't block because it's tapped.
Tapped, yeah.
I attacked in lethal next turn. Wouldn't have been able to do that without the Heretic Cathar.
Good job, Chaos.
Amen.
Thank you, Twitter, for voting.
The coin has a say, and the coin says Thalia Heretic Cathar wins me games. Or wins me at least a game.
You're coming in tap.
Yeah, so that was cool. My round, or the game 2 in that, they just did the Delver thing.
I thought that's just a common...
I just got bolted.
They did the...
I got bolted out. They played... I think my opponent, genuinely, they should have deck checked my opponent. Except for he was a total fucking the nicest guy I've ever met in my entire life.
Why would he deck check?
Because I'm pretty sure the guy had fucking 6 lightning bolts in his deck.
Oh. I made that joke today against one of my Infect players opponents who... with all the Glistener Elf, I was like, I swear to God, you have 7 of those fucking things.
Yeah, amen.
And they're like, they had a good. Hold on. Oh, ready?
Oh, that's some fucking. That's
ASMR.
ASMR for alcoholics. Yeah, but I got
Touch and Shock Variety Podcast.
Amen. Fucking just nothing but beers cracking open and us talking about dumb shit. Yeah, I got. I played well, but then got double bolted to death game 2.
This was the last dude?
Yes.
Yeah, he was really cool.
That was game 3, you were there for almost the entire thing.
Yeah.
And
you got yelled at by a judge.
We'll get to that. I lost game 3. I lost game 2 and I lost game 3. I got double bolted game 2. In game 3, my opponent cast all 4 of their lightning bolts.
Yeah, I saw the end of game 2.
Yes. And then you watched the entirety of game 3.
Yeah.
So they cast... In the very last game, they cast all 4 of the lightning bolts in their deck, and a braid, and the rough side of Rough and Tumble.
He almost rough and tumbled his own TNN.
TNN. Yeah, that was a thing. Jesus. That would have been... I would have loved that. I might have been able to stabilize that. Because he flipped it off a Delver.
He went to play it, like he was going to like put it on the table, and he like scooped it up at the last second.
Yeah.
He's like,
no, don't want to do that, because he saw what was on the board. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so he played, all 4 lightning bolts, rough and tumble, a braid, that last game. And I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And also, I was very mana screwed that last game. And I'm not just saying that because of fucking salt. I'm saying that because of fact. You were there for that.
You had 2 lands, a Plains, and a Caracas. And
no, I had a Plains and a Caracas. That was it.
That's what I'm saying. You had a Plains and a Caracas.
I had 2 lands, one Plains, one Caracas. Yeah. Yes, okay.
And, basically put the icing on the fucking cake. He wastelanded your Caracas.
The game was already over at that point, but whatever.
That's what I mean. He just fucking tossed it off.
Just fucking jerked off in my face. But yeah, that and in the middle of that game, this is probably the best judge call that's ever happened to me, at least in my Magic the Gathering legacy career. I had a Council's Judgment in my hand, and he had just spent 3 of his resources killing the Thalia that I had on board. Yeah. And I was finally okay, fuck it, I'll let this Thalia die. But because I wanted it being gone means I can cast a Council Judgment in hand if I draw a land off top.
Yeah, to get rid of the TNN for basically a swing.
Exactly. So I untap and I go and I knock on the top of my deck. And I have brand new sleeves because I just sleeved up my deck.
Cards, come on, let's get some.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking.
Let's get some fucking action here.
Yeah, come on. I literally need to draw one of the fucking 22 lands in my deck. Like, I have 22 other lands in my deck, just draw one of them. It doesn't matter which one, just draw one. And I go to knock on the top of my deck, and I have brand new sleeves, and I knock, and they slip all over the fucking place, and we're just sitting there, we're just like, oh, fuck.
None of them flipped over.
No, it was just an honest, like, I'm just being an asshole, knocking on the top of my deck falls over, and then we're all just like,
you did
Judge!
it like animated, like you did the windmill, but it wasn't like you like smashed it. You literally like windmill and then like...
And just tapped it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a judge call. We raised our hand, and judges come over, and they're just like, okay, what happened? And we're just like, well, this happened. And I'm just like, my cards are all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, let's go talk to the head judge. And head judge comes over, and he's just like, hey, can I talk to you away from the table? I'm like, fucking here we go.
While you were away, though, the other judge, she sat down like in your seat and was talking to me, your opponent, and your opponent's friend.
Yeah, the buddy.
And
it was late in that round.
Your opponent was like, yeah, he wasn't being aggressive or anything.
He wasn't being a dick.
He was like knocking on the top of his deck, like the heart of the cards. So he had your back in it. Like you didn't.
Good, because he was a cool guy.
Yeah, like you. He knew that you obviously weren't being a dick, and that's as soon as it happens, I was like, you need to just call a judge.
Yeah.
And he explained to her, be like, yeah, no information is known about the top of the deck. It's technically still random.
Nothing
flipped over. And the call ended up being what you just had to...
Just stack my cards back up and go. Yeah, when I went to talk to the head judge, he was just like, okay, a judge saw what happened from across the room. He saw you smack the table. But what actually happened? I was like, I didn't smack the table. I knocked on the top of my deck, but I did it in a way that maybe looked like a pretty exaggerated.
It was animated.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, but like, that's what it's all about.
But you were like, come on.
Let's go land. Yeah. Come on. Fucking let's go. Yeah, spoiler alert, I did not draw that land. Yeah. But that was a fun judge call. I'm glad the other judge was cool with you guys, was like, just like going over to just like see what was going on. Yeah. Because the judge that I dealt with, the head judge, was the nicest fucking dude. He's just like, well, because he even asked me, I was just knocking the top of my library because I needed to draw something. And he looked at me, he's like, what are you trying to draw? And I was like, a land. And he's like, oh, well, and that's all you need to draw? And I'm like, yeah, that's all I need to draw. He's like, well, you weren't like being aggressive at all? I'm like, judge, there's not an aggressive bone in my... Like, look, despite the fact that I'm missing a tooth...
I didn't get this in a bar fight.
I didn't get this in a Magic the Gathering fight. A duel, some might say. No, I got this at a Pokemon tournament. This missing tooth. But those fucking people are all great. Yeah, fun judge call. Didn't draw the land. Ended up losing that game. But I lost the game to a cold opponent.
I wonder what judge was like, yeah, he was smashing the table. Because it didn't make a sound at all. Like, it literally was like, here's your deck, and it just was like...
Yeah, I almost like pushed it forward.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, totally my fault. Why not? It's the new sleeves thing. You know what? I'm going to file a complaint with Dragon Shields.
Yeah.
Dear Dragon Shields, I was being an asshole at SCG Syracuse, and my deck's built upon my opponent's playmat. Please send me 1 million sleeves.
Yeah. Send me new goddamn sleep.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But, I mean... So I ended up 3-3 on the day. We dropped after I was past X and 2.
Yeah, it was like 4:30.
We hadn't eaten.
Yeah, we
all
went
day.
to the bar, got some food and some beers, and
we watched college football. Had a couple good beers and ate a actually solid meal.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was.
I'll tell you what, those deep fried pickles.
3 minutes away from the convention center.
Yeah, well worthwhile. It was pints and
Angus and Pub or something.
Fucking
Angus and Pub, I think it was.
Whatever. Yeah, look it up. But that could be our shout out for the day. Actually, no, I have actually a shout out for this episode. And you know who the shout out is.
I'm giving the shout out, you fuck.
You want to?
Yeah, my opponent, you twat.
I guess so. Well, here you go.
Ale and Angus Pub.
Ale and Angus. I knew there was some like alliteration with that.
Yeah. Yeah, really good food. You guys can go there.
Yeah, decent food. If you're ever in Syracuse by the convention center, and it's not a Saturday, because apparently they're not normally open on a Saturday, but maybe they are.
I think they open at like
4 o'clock.
Yeah, their normal hours are closed Saturdays. My guess is college football in Syracuse is big.
Yeah, it is.
They were open today, I think, just because of events going on at the convention center.
That could be it.
because it got pretty busy, like, as we were leaving.
Hell yeah, but they were all college football
Yeah.
fans. Every single person was in orange and blue.
Or Magic nerds.
Yeah, or fucking dweebs, yeah.
Before we do the shout out, I do want to say Legacy, not the greatest fan, from me at least.
Sure.
It was fun. I had a good time. Mainly because I got to Birthing Pod and Kiki Jiki people out.
Yeah, you got to live the dream of, like I said, modern circa 2015.
Yeah. So that was fun. I would definitely make changes to the deck I made. So for those of you who are interested in that deck, if you want, I will tell you what changes I would make. Just hit us up and I'll tell you them.
Yeah, we talked about the things that I think would be better, even in the middle of your rounds.
Well,
we were talking about the things that we would want to change.
rounds, like
yeah,
we were
talking about
a cig or whatever, and I was like, you know what, this needs cut, this needs cut. I want one of these, this in my sideboard, take this out. I did make it kind of rushed. I, honest to God, thought this was next weekend.
Yeah, that's the best part too, because I texted you at the beginning or at the end of last weekend,
Wednesday,
and I was like, "Hey,
Tuesday
dude, do you have your deck ready for next weekend?" And you're like, "You mean 2 weekends from now?" I'm like, "No, you have a learning disability. It's next weekend."
Yeah, so that didn't help. That didn't help at all. Yeah, I think it was Monday because that's when I bought some stuff online.
Yeah,
and
that
I
makes
had
sense.
to get it shipped.
Yep.
Faster than normal. But it was fun. I would play Legacy again if there wasn't other shit going on. I would either play this deck or another deck. For those of you who don't know me personally, I flip-flop on decks until I find a deck that I really like.
You know what's really funny about that sentence you just said? We have been talking about Modern today in between rounds about what you want to play in Modern. You have gone through in your brain
6 different decks.
at least 6 different decks.
Yeah.
You started off on like
Wurza.
You started off on Wurza, went to Jeskai Control, went to Jund, and then back to Wurza, and then now you're landed on Eldrazi?
Yeah, the green-white Eldrazi deck actually speaks to me on levels that no one can understand. Because Ben Eldrazi was probably my second favorite Modern deck ever.
Well, you know,
First was Kiki Pod, and then that, and then probably Twin.
Well, you know what you were playing when you met me,
Ben Eldrazi.
and that's why it's special to you.
No, it's because that's what I like doing. I like smashing people's faces with creatures.
Yeah, you like playing not synergistic decks, but just
Themey decks.
themey decks. Fucking
So
Christ.
that's my little caveat.
My caveat is Legacy is great, and if you have the opportunity to play it, play it. Yeah, best format ever.
No, fuck that. If you have the opportunity and 30 grand laying around, go play Vintage.
Yeah, well, people don't have that. Just download Magic Online and play Magic Online. We're the worst people for Wizards to want to pick up as like any kind of sponsor. We're just like, yeah, play Paper Magic, play older formats, fuck Standard, fuck MTG Arena. Like, we're trash.
Yeah.
There's like, all the things that we want you to do.
Get an email from Wizards saying, hey.
Say, hey, would you like to do this thing for us?
Yeah.
No. I mean, among other reasons. You think that's the only reason?
that's definitely not the only reason. But
Hey, you guys stop swearing so much and stop drinking so much and also be better at what you're doing, and then we'll do something for you. Oh, wait, also, you need to start playing Standard. And I'd be like, I will stop swearing. I will stop drinking. I will never start playing Standard.
Legacy, I found you can build decks if you don't have duels and stuff. The Red Prison deck is pretty strong.
The Red Bird deck's expensive.
What's expensive in?
A city of traders.
Oh, that version probably is, but the version the guy was playing.
Oh, wasn't playing city?
No,
Interesting.
He was playing Mountains. And
Ancient Tombs are relatively inexpensive.
yeah, they got the
compared to Legacy.
technically 2 reprints.
Yeah.
And Lotus Petals and stuff. You can make it work. It's not the premium
Not
build.
optimal. Yeah.
I actually had a conversation with the Red Prison guy after the fact about Eternal Weekend.
Oh,
and
they coming?
stuff. He said he was going to go if he didn't have other plans.
Who the fuck just makes other plans for Eternal Weekend?
Well, he was saying about Vintage, like he didn't know if he'd play Vintage. He likes Vintage. He's played it online.
Okay.
And I was like, and I gave him the thing like, well, they do stuff for if you're not a powered deck, like you can actually get prizes. You could
there's
be,
separate prize
you could
structure
be
for
300
unpowered
place,
decks.
and you could still win the first place prize for unpowered.
Yep.
But one of the best unpowered decks is White Eldrazi.
And he probably has a good portion of that considering the deck that he was playing today.
Yeah, he has most of the mana base and stuff like that. So that's just my little caveat with Legacy.
Hell yeah. Legacy's great. Do the fucking shout out. I'm going to fucking take a piss.
So the shout out is actually one of my Infect opponents, round 4. And he is on Twitter at MG Alters on Twitter. That's at MG Alters on Twitter. He does awesome work. Pretty much his whole deck, he did it himself.
It was his entire main deck, and then
most of the sideboard. And I'm not gonna lie, they were fucking good.
Oh, I would say arguably some of the best altars I've seen in person.
Yeah, he has. He does take commissions, obviously.
I think I'm gonna have him do my commander. I think I'm gonna have him do crew fix.
Yeah, he has. His Misty Rainforests are pretty sweet. He made them borderless and kind of some greenery growing on the edges. You can still read the card. He had a really fucking sweet set of brainstorms, sweet set of forces. His Noble Hierarchs were a throwback to when they used to do seasons. So fall, winter, spring, summer, and they were really cool.
That's great. The card that he showed today.
One of the best, the Pendlehaven, is just incredible.
Oh my god, it's flawless. The one he showed me today, the picture of, that blew my mind was Library of Alexandria. Mm-hmm. With the pool that comes out in front of it. The water. Water's got to be the hardest thing in the entire world to paint.
It reminded me of like the fucking Taj Mahal.
To get the textures correctly, the water's got to be like top fucking notch. And the extension he did all around the border for the water.
Yeah.
Like, it left me legitimately speechless.
It looked like you took the text box and just slapped it over a pool.
Actually fucking extended it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was... Whoo-wee! It was good. So fucking good.
So, that's our shout out. Awesome dude. Really cool guy. Great artist.
Yeah, just a quality guy. And if you want to get...
If you're interested in
cards altered, he's... I highly recommend him.
He said he likes doing, like, stained glass...
His stained glass,
brainstorms.
He had stained glass,
Baleful Strix, too.
Yeah, the Baleful Strix was good. He had a, what was the card they showed us? A Mana Artifact.
Oh, Mana Crypt.
Mana Crypt. He had the stained glass Mana Crypt, and I was just like, man, come on
color
now.
Matching. Didn't extend the border, just literally the art. Super dope. So, that's the fucking show,
Yeah,
guys.
He's incredible.
We're just doing a quick little quickie. That's what I'm scrolling through right now. He has that's
get out of here. The stained glass Snapcaster, like, come on now. We're looking at his Twitter right now.
Prosh the Sky Raider, pretty
Jeez, his stained glass art is so good. Yeah, just even if you don't even want an altar, just go follow this guy just so you can see the work that he does. Because the Trinisphere is insane.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, sign me up, man.
Purples,
seriously,
blues, and reds.
Just go,
awesome.
Guys, go on and see his altars just on his Twitter and give him a follow. You're not going to be disappointed. They're fucking insane. Whoa! Yeah. The Picasso dig through time?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Pretty sweet. But
all right, dude. Well, we're in Syracuse right now.
Yeah, hey, if anyone's in Syracuse, come on and say hi. Get some free tokens.
Hell yeah, we still got tokens we'll give away. We gave away a good handful today.
Yeah, go sling some fucking spells.
Yeah, all you have to do is fucking ask, and we will. I will give you tokens for you to alter yourself, or I will fucking draw them, or you can make Matt draw them. I'm sure he'll try.
I'm a good stick figure.
Yeah, so we'll be on the site tomorrow. If you're listening to this and you weren't at Syracuse, you missed your opportunity.
Yeah, you dumb bitches. What
I
are you
guess
doing
you'll just have to come to fucking GP Fetch and Shock in California, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Matt, I would say our traditional. Well, that's another one in the books.
Yeah.
And I'll see you later, but I won't see you later because we're sleeping next to each other tonight in the same bed. No, we have two twin beds in our lovely fucking not Motel 6
Quality Inn.
Quality Inn. There we go. And it is nothing but quality. All right, motherfucker. Well, like I said, I can't say fucking goodbye to you because we're going to continue to drink these.
Say goodbye to you and then just not talk to you for the rest of the night.
No, we're going to continue to drink our Bud Light pounders. No, Bud Light 24 ounces.
Big boys.
Yeah, big Bud Light tall boys. And probably continue to talk about Magic, just not recorded. But as far as what you guys are hearing, this is it. So, see you later, nerds!
Peace!